Hey, not sure why. Well, I am sure why. That brain, that primitive brain, has been set up, softwared up to do what? Scan the world and see what's dangerous. So our perspective is already set up to spot what's dangerous. And this can be very dangerous for us. So it's all about perspective. It's all about mindset. And if you just tilt those glasses and change the aperture a little bit, you're going to find some magic. It's all happening right now on the R Zone. When you put your head on that pillow tonight, you've got one question. Are you glad you did, or do you wish you had?
The R Zone with Coach Jim Stroker.
We've all had people along the way in life who make a lasting impression. For me, one of those people was my high school basketball coach, Jim Stroker. He's coached hundreds of us teenage boys over the years and raised three of the most remarkable kids you'll ever meet.
I have coached hundreds of thousands of games right on these fields right here. But there's only one game that truly counts, and that game is your life. And you will be measured in that game by how you respond. E+R = O. The events, many of which are out of your control, plus your response, which is 100% on you, will equal the outcome. And now we're about to lean in on the power of your response. The R Zone. This is a podcast to share conversations on our own hero's journey. These are stories that have shaped my life and the mindset I hope that will help shape yours. This is coaching for life. It's not where we've been. It's all about where we're going. The R Zone is the space between stimulus and response. The R Zone is where you have the power to choose your response.
And now, join Jim Stroker in the R Zone.
Hey, welcome to the R Zone. This is Coach Jim Stroker, life coach, leadership trainer, and motivational speaker. These two travelers, they're both in the village in the mountains. And one of the travelers walks in and sees that no one there speaks his language, and he can't communicate. And then all of a sudden, he walks in and he asks for a place to sleep, and no one will give him a place to sleep, and he's forced to sleep in a barn. And then all of a sudden, it's time to eat, and they offer him these crazy dishes. He has no idea what they are. It's ridiculous. I mean, he's supposed to say 7 days, but after 5 days, he leaves in a huff. Well, he's walking down the path towards the village in the valley, and he meets a monk and says to the monk, sir, can you tell me how far is the village in the valley? And the monk looks at him and said, well, it's 5 miles down the road. And he says, well, what's it like? And the monk says, well, look, before I tell you that, can you tell me what the village in the mountains is like that you just left? And he said, it was horrible. It was ridiculous. I mean, nobody spoke my language. I couldn't communicate. I slept in this barn with the animals. I mean, it was ridiculous. And the food, I could hardly eat anything. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Well, the monk paused, looked at the traveler and said, sir, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the village in the valley, it's much the same. He shook his head and walked down that path. Well, the other traveler that was in that village in the mountains walked in, and no one spoke his language. So he created this amazing way of communicating with body language and visual signs. It was almost like a game of charades. They had a blast. And then he slept. He had the greatest night's sleeps of his life. He slept on this haystack in this beautiful barn with these luscious animals. I mean, it was just heaven on earth. And the food, he said, the food were some legendary recipes handed down, some of the greatest new things he's ever had. He absolutely loved it. And he left that village, walked down the path, and met the monk. And of course, he said to the monk the same thing. Sir, could you tell me how far is the village in the valley and what's it like? Well, the monk said, well, it's 5 miles down the road, and tell me what the village is like you just came from. He said, I loved it. No communication, great way of talking. My sleep was the best it's ever been, and the food, I loved it. Well, of course, the monk smiled and said, sir, the village in the valley, get ready for it. It's much the same. Well, I know you've been here before. Two people in the same environment, the same situation, and the way one person sees it compared to the other person sees it is totally the opposite. It's all got a tilt towards the negative. What's wrong here? What could be better? And the other person is like living in miracles. Einstein said it to us. I mean, Einstein said there's only two ways to live. To live as if nothing is a miracle, or to live within everything is a miracle. It's all what you focus in on. Hey, there's a great motorcycle term called target fixation. And that's when motorcycle drivers are driving down the road and all of a sudden there's a pothole or a guardrail and they see it. And if they focus in on that, they'll shift or they'll tilt right into it. But if they look to the opening, they'll avoid that pothole. What about golfers? They come up to that tee, take their deep breath, grab their club, and they look out at that hole. Are they looking at the sand trap or are they looking at the pin? Because if they look at the sand trap, all the studies in the world say that's where they're going to end up. So this isn't about golfers and motorcycle drivers. This is about you. This is about what you're watching and what you're looking for. So one more quick little story. I love it. It's back on July 4th, 1952. And the great Florence Chadwick, this swimmer, this first female swimmer who had ever swam the English Channel. And she said, I'm going to swim from the Catalina Islands all the way to the coast of California. And it's 28 miles. I mean, I'm going to go for it. So that July 4th morning, she gets up 5 a.m. and she walks out to the beach. Now, on the beach, there's a boat. And the boat has her mother, her motivator, and a gunman. A gunman with a rifle just in case she encounters those sharks that have been set in that water. Well, she goes out and starts swimming, and she swims through these jellyfish like they're all over, but keeps swimming. And then the water becomes like 52 degrees. She's swimming through bone-chilling water, jellyfish, and then all of a sudden, sharks. And those sharks are hit, and she keeps swimming. 16 hours of swimming until all of a sudden, this dense fog comes in. This dense fog, and she can't see. She can't see in front of her hand. And all of a sudden, she beckons to her mother, Mom, I can't go any further. She hops up into the boat, and within 35 seconds, the fog clears slightly, and she sees the coastline. She was less than a mile from the coast. Because she focused on what? She couldn't see. She couldn't see where she was going. Well, 1 month later, she gets back in that same water, swims through those same jellyfish, same bone-chilling waters, and same shotguns of the sharks. But now, with her eyes closed, she visualized where she's going. As the great Muhammad Ali said, don't focus in on what's happening. Focus in on where you're going. So it's all this little shift. And right now, you can make that decision to see the things that are all out there waiting for you. They're not obstacles. They're opportunities. You don't gotta go to work. You get to go to work. They're not problems, they're puzzles. They're not barriers, they're bridges. And they're all there waiting for you. Hey, If you want this spark right to you, right in your group, your team, your organization, dial me up. I'd love to come and help out. Or life coaching, leadership training. It's all about spotting the things that you know are out there, calling you. They want you. So keep that mindset positive.
Let's get you into the R Zone. Coach Jim Stroker has provided a bridge for inspiration and hope for people all over the world. Are you ready to transform your life and your leadership skills? Invite Coach Stroker to inspire your students or motivate your teams, offering personalized keynote speeches, dynamic workshops, inspirational life coaching, and comprehensive leadership training. From Fortune 500 companies to students all over the country to nonprofits and individuals. Empower yourself to become the best version of you with Coach Jim Stroker. For speaking, workshops, training, or coaching, work with Jim Stroker. Visit CoachStroker.com to start your journey today. Let's get into the R Zone.
For more, follow Coach Jim Stroker on socials. And be sure to subscribe to the R Zone podcast, available on all major platforms, including Spotify and YouTube.